each other this
I haven't seen him at all. I thought I was gonna run into him. I thought he was gonna be here too. So I'm sure we'll run into each other. You know, we'll make it a little spicy. So we'll see what happens.
Do you feel the pressure with the homecoming fight against Lamine?
Nah, man. I feel like I've been fighting in the bubble. Before my last fight, I had been in the bubble 2 fights. So when you go from fighting with no crowd to fighting with the crowd, it's a whole different experience. So I'm just really excited, you know, to be back in my hometown, especially to fight for another title. And it's another big opportunity for me. So I'm just ready to go. I'm excited.
Do you have to win the fight or you have to knock him out? Just win it, get your hand raised, regardless of how it is, or you have to knock him out to the stage.
So with me, with every fight I go into, I want to either get a knockout or a stoppage. And I think I have 5 straight stoppages, you know, since I came back from my suspension. So that's the plan. I want to go in there and I want to give it. I don't want to leave any doubts in any of the fighters or not any of the fighters, of any of the fans that I won the fight. So the stoppage is always the main thing I'm going for.
Do you see this fight going past 6 rounds?
I don't think so. I feel like the style that David Lemieux has, you know, it's basically tailor-made for my style to go in there and stop him. But it's not gonna be easy. It's gonna be a hard fight. You know, David Lemieux, I feel like he's really motivated too. He's obviously fighting for another title too, just like I am. So he's a big puncher. I think with the big punches, the last thing to go is the power. So I'm going in there and I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be a fun fight.
You know, since saying Google fight, like these guys have been increasingly just putting the handcuffs on. Like they're just shelling up and not trying to exchange. Do you think that's gonna be the case with Lemieux? And has that been tough to get, not the stoppage, but that knockout?
It's a little bit tough, but as a professional, as a world class, as one of the best super middleweights in the world, you got to learn how to work around that. You know, if they put the hands up, you go down low. You know, when they put the hands down low, you mix it up to the middle, you go to the top. So it's definitely just helping me in the long run. You know, it's like you got to learn how to deal with adversity. You know, I don't want to be like Edgar Berlanga where he says, you know, I didn't knock this guy out because he was running from me the whole fight. You're going to get people that run from you the whole fight. You know, it's up to you to figure that out and try to knock them out, even though when they run from you.
Are you looking to pursue the Lemieux fight the same way Golovkin did, as far as the same game plan, since he has so much power?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like with Golovkin, he had one of the things that made that fight, you know, made it go his way for him was the jab. And for me, I don't really got to go trying to do that because naturally, just the jab comes out for me, and that's my bread and butter right there. But, you know, I definitely have a lot of other things I could do, you know, different from Golovkin. You know, I'm not the same fighter as Golovkin, but, you know, I feel like I could, you know, I could even get a even more impressive stoppage than Golovkin, you know, because I have a lot of speed. I put my combinations together, so yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
After the Lemieux fight, if you can't get Caleb or Charlo next, is Demetrius Andrade the fight you're looking to make sense? He's the only one that's willing to fight you.
Definitely. I think Demetrius Andrade is only the only other fighter that makes sense. These other fighters I want to get is either Caleb Plant, Charlo, Demetrius Andrade. Even if we get Edgar Berlanga in there, and if not, I think it might be time to go up to 175. You know, I've been trying to make all these fights happen for a long time, but I feel like right now, when I win the WBC interim title, I have a little bit more leverage. But if I can't make them happen, you know, it's because the fighters don't want to fight and take the fight with me, and you know, so I think it might be time to go up to 175.
Fighting David Morrell Jr.
That would be a great fight too. So there's a lot of good fights on the table. So if we could get any of those fights, those will be the fights I would love to get. You know, but like I said, if I can't get any of those fights, then I might go up to 175.
David, is there any truth to Samson saying that just to get into talks with Boo Boo, they need at least a $7 million offer?
No, it's not true at all. I feel like if I want to get the fights, I want to sacrifice a little bit less money to get the opportunity to get my name out there, then that's what's going to happen. Everything comes to me and my dad first. You know, if we decline the fight, because we're not, you know, it comes from us. You know, I'm not going to say, if I don't get $8 million, I'm not going to take that fight. I've never even made $8 million, you know, and why would I decline a fight with Boo Boo Andrade? I feel like you have to look at the opportunity first, and whoever shines from there, then after the fight you get $8 million. But I wouldn't decline that fight for no $8 million.
And you know what? I also got in touch with Boo Boo's father also. If he's watching, shout out to him. You know, he's a great person. He told me that this is the last fight, and they're gonna be free agents. So we are working on that fight, me and his father right now, and try to make it happen. You know, they said that they're willing to make that fight, so we're excited. Hopefully that fight could come up next.
Now, they were talking about the thing there with Paul Andrade, and he pretty much like that gives you and David Benavidez the same respect as far as like, you know, that's like a fight that they're, you know, entertaining, but
Of course,
they just give you all so much
of
love.
course, you know, nobody wants to fight Bubu Andrade. You know, he's a slick fighter. Everybody says that he's a terrible fighter. He's not a terrible fighter. He's a dangerous fighter. That's why nobody wants to face him. We're willing to take that challenge. I think David can stop him. You know, we have to work on closing the angles and cut the ring off and attacking that body. You know, he has to move around and find a way to beat David. Also, I think that's a great fight for both of them in order to go to the next level.
Hey David, would you rather fight Andre after you guys force Canelo to vacate the titles than fight in a unification, or you don't care about it and you rather fight now, just unifying the interim?
I don't care. I feel like whatever fight comes first. You know, right now, to be honest, I'm kind of like forgetting about a Canelo fight because he's over there in Dazn. He's doing his thing. He's saying he's gonna fight Bivol and Golovkin, and then I heard he might fight John Ryder. You know, so like I said, I feel like I got to take this route and fight everybody over here, and then at the end of the day, that's going to give me more experience that I need, because at the end of the day, Canelo, he's where he's at because he has the experience. You know, he's fought a lot of great fighters, so I feel like if I go the same route, fight all these great fighters, beat them, I'm gonna have enough experience to go in there and feel more comfortable with the fight with Canelo.
Two more questions. One, how much does being a family man and a father change you as a person and a fighter? And you have to get that Canelo fight before his career is over. Is that now you gonna chase him now before he hangs him up? You gonna see him?
Yeah, I think I still have a long time to make that fight happen. I don't think he's retiring anytime soon. I think, what is he, like 32, 33?
31.
31, so, I mean, I don't think he's even thinking about retirement, especially the way his career is going right now. So, for me, you know, I'm getting older, you know, I'm getting more experience, I'm getting stronger, you know, I'm feeling even more comfortable in the ring now. So, if it happens now, or 2-3 years, you know, I'll be ready for whenever the opportunity comes. But as for me, and you know, being a family man, having my family here, you know, this is just the best. You know, it gives me all the motivation I need in the world. You know, yesterday we were at the gym. I was with my wife and I was with my son, and he was right there throwing some punches and stuff. You know, so it makes me happy. I feel like when a boxer that's happy and has a motive, it's working for him and his family, I think he can't be stopped.
Let me ask you, David. You know, I know you brought up a lot of names in this interview as far as the guys that you like to fight at 168. With the exception of Canelo out of the equation, who do you feel would possess the most challenge for you as far as the fighters such as Charlo?
To be honest, I have to be 100% ready for all of them. They're all good. That's why this is a different level right now. You know, you have to be. I can't tell you who's going to be hard and who's going to be not, because I haven't been in the ring with them. I mean, they're all pretty good, so you just have to be ready for all of them. And you can't go into a fight thinking that this fighter, oh, he's not going to hit hard, or he's not going to be fast, because sometimes you go in the fight thinking like that, you might get surprised. So I feel like everybody I go in the ring with, I got to be 100% ready for.
Do you think, man?
That's what I was going to bring up right now. You know, the fight that we really won, that we really worked so hard for it, and it was. I did talk to Luis de Cuba's, Caleb Plant's manager. He says that I'm not David's manager, that I'm just a trainer. I am David's manager, and I did reach out to Luis de Cuba to make that fight with Caleb Plant. We were talking, Luis tried to do the best to make that fight. It was, we were working on it, and he declined. You know, he says that he wants to fight the best. He wants to fight whoever's up there. He wants to get up in the top right away. Why not make that fight? It doesn't matter what happens with David. David's only 25 years old. Why not fight in September? Why not fight in December? Pick the day, whatever day you want, you know. Stop making all these excuses and let's make it happen. That's the fight we really want to do with Caleb Plant. So whatever happens, I'm pretty sure David's going to come victorious on May 21st. Let's make that fight happen with Caleb Plant. December, September, whenever he wants to do it.
You guys are serious about fighting in the second half of the year?
I mean, I don't know. I hope so. I mean, I'm serious. I feel like we've given this fight, you know, we've let it, you know, marinate as long as possible. And I feel like now it's going to be even a better position, because once I get the WBC interim title, there will be no excuse not to fight. You know, he said he wants to get back up to give a rematch to Canelo. This is the best step to do it.
So what do you guys think when he was saying, well, now they made me an offer, now that I was tied up with Anthony Morrell?
He declined. He doesn't even have a fight with Anthony Morrell.
Well, before, and I mean, we've been in camp for like 5 months, man. And if they were really serious about it, you know, they could have been like, you know, the WBC could have made the fight with me and him mandatory. You know, if his team would have got in contact with the WBC, I mean, he fought for the WBC. I mean, he's still ranked up there. think he's ranked higher than David Lemieux, so they could have made that mandatory. So what would have been the problem? It would have been no problem. We could have made that fight happen. Just like when he fought Caleb Truax, we're in camp for the same time. You know, if he was as big and bad as he said he was, why would he just take the fight with me instead of Caleb Truax? Just because he was waiting for a fight with Canelo. That's why I'm saying, you know, with me, it's a big risk, very little reward, and that's why they don't have confidence in themselves. That's why they didn't take the fight with me.
Well, what if it's a thing like you don't jump in there with a killer like Benavidez right after a loss?
He says he said he wants to fight the best. He says that we're running away from him, but so I don't understand. You know, why not? You know, admit. You know, and say, you know, okay, let me build up. I think he needs a tune-up. I think he's done. You know, I think we're gonna retire him. You know, in my opinion. So
you know, and the thing I want to say about these guys too. You know, I don't like any of these guys too, but to be honest, I need all of them. You know, to get to the next level I want to get to. I don't like Charlo, I don't like Caleb Plant, but for me to get to become a pay-per-view star I really want to be to, I don't have no shame in saying I need these guys to get to the next level, because we all need each other. You know, if I get a fight with Caleb Plant, whoever wins that fight, that gets elevated, and then we become even better, we become a even bigger draw, so that's all that is.
Steven, do you think we'll be able to see David against Charlo or Plant the next 12, 18 months?
Look, it makes sense, and I think, you know, one thing that the pandemic reminded everybody is it can all be taken away at any minute. This can all disappear. So I don't think it's a coincidence that coming out of the pandemic that we have had no issue making tough fights. You know, you look at our entire schedule, it's all tough fights. No one's getting an easy break. I don't think that's a coincidence. So we're in a period right now that I think is, you know, and it's throughout the sport. And so I do think that, you know, this has had an effect on people, and those are fights that need to be made. There's, you know, life is short. Let's do it.
Let me ask you, David, there is, you know, in pro boxing, there's a lot of successful father and son duos and unsuccessful. But what makes your parent and your father, you know, stick out from the rest?
To be honest, it wouldn't happen any other way. I wouldn't want to be with anybody else, and I wouldn't want to train with anybody else. And just the trust we have in each other, and the bond we have, it can't be broken. I feel like it's not different from any other father and son relationship. I think it's just that we just don't take no for an answer, and we stay there. We work. We've had thousands of hours training in the gym. You know, thousands of sparring sessions. Like literally, I've been training since I was 2 years old, and it's just, you know, I feel like we always had it in our mind that if it wasn't going to work out, it wasn't going to work out, but at least we trained as hard as we could. At least we knew we put everything into it. And to this point, everything has been good, and we're still going. We're getting stronger. We're getting better, thinking better as a team. Everything is getting better, so let's just keep it going, and that's how it is.
Jose, why are you never over the top about your son? There's a lot of fathers, like, my son would knock out Sugar Ray Robinson, you know, but you mean you always believe to win the fight, but never like over the top.
No, you know, I have a lot of respect for everybody. Everybody's a dangerous fighter, man. You know, you can't just say, I'm going to go and knock these guys out, you know. At the end of the day, you know, it's just whoever comes best, you know, and my job is to get prepared and get ready for that day, you know, and try to focus and get the discipline that we can, just to come 100%. And I believe that I haven't done anything yet. We're barely touching the surface, you know, so we have to keep working hard, and we got to stay focused and disciplined, and that's my job, you know, to get up every day and keep doing what we've been doing, you know.
And I think too, it's not that easy to knock everybody out like that. You know, so people say that, oh, I'm gonna go in there now. But if you do everything right, you know, I feel like if you don't put that pressure on yourself, if you just go in there, do everything right, follow the game plan, the knockout or the stoppage comes by itself. You got guys like Rolly and other guys, oh, I'm gonna knock this guy out first round. That's just putting way too much pressure on yourself.
Yeah.
Do you think there's any chance he does?
Hell no. Hell no. If he knocks him out, it's not going to be in the first round. I don't even think he'll get close to knocking him out, but it will be a good fight. I feel like Rolly, he's the type of fighter that if things don't go his way, he'll try dirty tactics. But I think Gervonta Davis is just too good of a fighter all around to even him. We've never even seen him be hurt. You know, so how is Rolly going to go in there and knock him out in the first round?
Now, David, you had your fight against Davis last year, which was in the state of Arizona. It was a very good crowd for that. You had your brother there also fighting. But going from that into this particular fight against David Lemieux, how's that being fighting in your hometown with, you know, the status that you have at this particular point?
I think it's going to be even better this time. You know, last time I feel like a lot of people didn't go. Well, not a lot of people. They got filled up, but the people didn't go is because they thought that, you know, something would happen because I pulled out the first time because of COVID. So a lot of people were scared. I think they said they sold like 2,000 tickets the last day, and they say that's unheard of. But this time, since it's going to be a WBC interim title, a title fight against another great ex-champion, you know, people out there love me. I got a lot of fans out there, a lot of supporters. So I feel like this time they made it in an even bigger arena. What is it?
Talking stick, right?
Yeah.
Talking stick resort.
That one's even bigger than the other one we fought at. So. No, I'm excited, man. A lot of people are going to go, and I'm going to definitely put on a show. I've been working hard, so it's going to be great.
This is a question like we all can talk about it. I know Mr. Espinosa back there. We're talking about a lot of people in here, and we're seeing tomorrow is a Cuban fighting in there, back there, and it's another Cuban that can be on your way, David Morrell Jr. Great guy. He basically came to the U.S., made already, world champion, 5 fights, already WBA champion. When we can be talking about making this fight happen, it's a fight that a lot of Hispanic people be talking about. You and Morrell in the ring, 2 big guys that can collide in a big fight.
Yeah, definitely. If we can make it happen this year, then I'll be all for it. You know, David Morrell is a great fighter. You know, he's very technical. You know, he's had a lot of big amateur career, and I'm down to make that fight happen whenever. I seen him yesterday. You know, I gave him a handshake. He was a cool dude, and I'm ready to make that fight happen whenever.
What do you think about that, Mr. Espinosa? Is a possibility? It's going to make the numbers when we're talking about what is happening tonight in here and seeing this combination, Mexico, Cuba, and a big guy in Morrell?
Well, you know, putting nationalities and ethnicities aside, the reality is it's 2 of the best fighters in the division. And whenever you do that, we saw that last week. We saw that with Condora and with Lubin. When you put the 2 elite guys in, you usually get something memorable. So that's the motivation, you know, on that fight. Now, you know, personally, I think, you know, I know, you know, David and his family probably, you know, want this as soon as possible. I'd like to see Morrell get a little bit more exposure yet, let him grow, I'm not a fan of sort of marinating, so to speak, but, you know, he hasn't fought on Showtime yet. He's going to fight on Showtime. We'd love to build up his audience, make that a really, really big fight, because that's skill-wise, it's 2 of the best guys in the division, without a doubt.
Jose, like they said before, you're the kind of a trainer and that keep it for real. You go all about your son, but how big and how important do you see that collision between Morrell and him?
I mean, that's a big fight, man. I can't, you know, it gives me chills, you know, just to think about it. That's a fight that also another fight that's very dangerous, a good fighter. And like Espinosa said, you know, we just have to wait and we keep working, staying focused, and whatever comes, you know, whatever they say, you know, we're ready to do. We're here to work, and they do a great job, you know, of the fights that they're doing. Al Heyman, Luis de Cubas, and the whole team, man, they're doing a great job. We just go to the gym, we just wait for the date and the opponent. We never said no to an opponent. To this day, no, we never said no to no one. So we're just here to fight anybody, and I think that's a great fight, and I can't wait to make it happen.
It's good with a good diet, a dedicated diet. It's not easy, but I can make it good. And that's so I've been in camp since like January 15th. So I've been on top of my diet and top of my water, so everything is going good. It's very easy to make.
And that is a lot better than a couple years ago.
Yeah, it's because I feel like when you get as a professional, you know, you got to pay dietitianists and nutritionists. All this stuff costs a lot of money. That's why a lot of people don't know how to cut weight sometimes, because you got to pay, you got to see the formula and see how it comes out, and sometimes it doesn't come out cheap. You know, a lot of these nutritionists, they don't want to show you everything for free, so you got to be with them for like 1 or 2 years and then see how everything goes, and then you just follow the steps down like that. You know, it's very easy. It's in the morning, everything has to be at the same. You got to get breakfast, you know, 2-3 eggs, maybe a tomato. For lunch, chicken breast, tomato. At night, salmon, tomato, but then the thing that's very important too is the 2 gallons of water.
And the way you're cutting weight now, how much of it is it making you a better fighter today?
It's making me a better fighter because every time I train now, and you know when you cut weight, you get a little bit dehydrated, and now I'm not dehydrated at all. I can push through all my workouts with a lot of energy and a lot of intensity too. So that's what helps me a lot. I get I put 110% in every workout.
So this is going to be, we're going to see a lot better version of you.
Yeah,
Come on.
yeah, definitely.
And David, Shakur Stevenson, I'll quote him, he said, David Benavidez is a bad motherfucker, and that he thinks you're the toughest fight out there for Canelo. What do you think of his fight with Oscar Valdez?
Like
what do you have to say about you?
First of all, I just feel very honored, from getting a compliment like that from an Olympian, a silver medalist. He's a great fighter. I feel like he's going to be unified champion in multiple divisions one day. So I feel very motivated by just hearing him say that. And I feel the same way about him. He's a great fighter. He's probably one of the best 130-pounders, in the world today. And I feel like he's going to go in there and he's going to beat Valdez with no problem. I think it's going to be very difficult for Valdez to even catch him, or to catch Stevenson's counters. And Stevenson, he's a bad motherfucker as well. So I'm very happy to hear that from him.
And with Joe Smith and Better, do you have any thoughts on that? And would your speed be too much for either one of them, regardless?
That's a great fight. That's one of the fights I'm most excited about this year. Just to watch as a fan. I feel like, to be honest, I feel the experience is on Joe Smith's side, because he's fought Bernard Hopkins, he's fought Dimitri Bivol, he's fought what's his name, Sullivan Barrera. He's fought a lot of good guys, and then he hits hard too. So I feel like they're both motivated. I mean, it's just this is a different level. They're very motivated to become unified 175 champion too. But just the way I was seeing Berlanga fight when he fought that one dude. Alexander Bosnick, and I've sparred Alexander Bosnick too, and I've heard him. So just seeing that he had a success with Berlanga makes me think, what if I go out there? Now I'm sure I could touch, Berlanga for Joe Smith, because I have the speed and I have the power, and I think going up to 175, I'll be even faster and even stronger.
And then obviously he's been dropped before, so has that kind of like put an idea like, oh, if Callum Johnson dropped him, like I could definitely drop him or hurt him?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I could hurt anybody I put my hands on, anybody. But like with knockdowns like that, I don't think, oh yeah, he has a weak chin, this and that, because this is a flash knockdown, to be honest with you. That
wasn't his first knockdown.
No, it wasn't his first?
No, he got dropped earlier in his career. I can't.
Okay, well then maybe he has a, if I catch anybody with the right shot, I could drop anybody. But like I said, yeah, I don't think about that. I think about, just being the best version of myself, worrying about speed, combinations, power shots, body shots, and that way I could, when I'm 100% and I could see how I'm doing, then I could look at a fighter and see what I could put in or what the type of combinations I could use.
Thanks, David. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, guys.
For the video, feel free to hit the like, subscribe, and share. As always, if you want to support us to the next level, head over to the patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. We have tons of exclusive, from Border Wars, Entitled, betting shows, the list goes on and on and on. But in addition to that, if you guys have questions for fighters, trainers, and promoters, this is where you can submit them. We will run out, get these questions answered, and put it back on the show just for you guys. Appreciate it. Peace.